And we are live with 10-minute labs. We have the one and only Donna Paul tonight on a Friday night. She's in New York, the great state of New York.
Yeah.
New York. And so Donna, if you don't know Donna, Donna's amazing. Donna she's in Long Island, but covers 3 out of the 5 boroughs in New York. And we're going to make sure we really do keep this to 10 minutes tonight, because Donna has a close friend that is due to have a baby literally any minute. Right, Donna?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like any minute. So if she gets a call in the middle of this 10-minute interview, she's going to bounce. She is out.
I gotta go.
She's the only one in the room. All right. So we're going to dive in. So Donna is an amazing, she's an associate broker. She's just amazing because she really takes care of her clients, their needs. We're going to talk a little bit how she helped find her strength by helping others. I'm going to set a timer and we're going to get going with 10-minute labs. Ready?
Okay.
Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Cool.
Your timer is set for 10 minutes.
There we go. All right. So Donna, first question, what keeps you awake at night?
Oh, wow. I think basically it's making sure that my clients are okay in the end. Especially going through this right now, it's so much uncertainties. And in New York, what we had before now, it was very, very traumatic for a lot of people. So that does really sit on me, and making sure that when I get up, I'm totally 100% there for them.
And let's just dive into that. I mean, you were at one of the epicenters for COVID, right? You were in New York.
Right.
How was that for you? What went on?
Well, it created it was a strain, and it also within the business that we couldn't really do business as normal. Well, I should say everyone couldn't do, but in New York, we were more restricted. One, no cold calls, no direct mails. It was also to respect a lot of people. Not only that, it was very difficult to find that sweet spot where you're doing business and yet still helping others that were suffering in it. So you just had to come from a point where you just call them and find out how are they really doing from a true heart. And I think people could see that and know that, and that would transcend most of all.
Yeah, interesting. So in the world of real estate these days, what do you obsess over? What are you going deep on these days?
I think more is to impact my clients, so they have an experience when they finish. They said, "Wow, I was really glad that I chose Donna and her team to work with me." It was more like you could say my Ritz-Carlton experience.
Yep.
And not only them coming to me, but also when they finish and they've had the great experience, they could come back and say, "Donna, could you help me find somebody to fix my fence, fix the pipe?" And knowing that I be the one for the resources for them to help them along the way. So I want to create that, and that's what I do. And, I'm obsessed about making sure that they're able to say, "Donna, it was a great experience."
I love it. So let's use that Ritz-Carlton example. So you're obviously going above and beyond. You're doing things for your clients. Is there any specific things that if there's agents watching this who said, "I want to duplicate what Donna does," like are there some specific things they can do that like you do this and like they could totally take it to their business and do the same thing?
Well, first of all, you find their needs. What are their needs are, and then you be able to work on that. For example, one of my clients called me. We finished a transaction, but they needed to put a fence in, and they weren't quite sure how to find a surveyor. So they would call me, making sure that they know that you are the resource for them in case they need anything, that is. Not only that, one of my other clients' friend needed a rental or whatever it is, just let them know that you're there for them and they'll call you back. I mean, it's been 5-10 years and they're still calling you back. And that's what you want to create.
So that's how you know you've done it correctly. 5 years later, they're still reaching out to you saying,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah.
I got this thing. Can you help me with this thing?"
Right. Exactly. I mean, one of my clients, it was so funny. She lives in Florida, and she she relocated over there. So what I do is that with most of my clients, I give them a little piece of New York. I give them bagels. So I could ship bagels across the world for them, and they love it. So those little detail things really, really does matter.
I love it. I love it. So that ties into the, helping others, because you made a comment before we started. You said you really find your own strength from helping others. Like, how did you learn that about yourself? Did you always know that, or did it come through something during COVID that was this something new for you?
I think it was more for COVID because, wow, it was extremely difficult, very difficult, because I had a client and she was a nurse, and she was going through the transition of buying a house, but she would call me and say, Don, it was a really tough day. The entire hospital was filled with dead bodies, and I didn't know what to say to her, and it was so traumatic for us right here. And she would just go home and be totally exhausted, and all I would do is that I would call, check on her. Is there anything I could do? We even gathered that near one area in Queens, and I had to get a few people with me, and I was like, could you help them, because they're under strain, they can't leave to see their family. So we gathered, 3 people came with me, and we dished food and we gave them to the hospital there. But the strain of them with their family was so powerful. And with that, I think it's more when you come from contribution and you don't look at yourself and what you're going through, and you look at somebody else. It creates such a powerful strength. And somebody will say, where is the money in this? And once you come from contribution, the funds are going to follow. I mean, if you care for others, they will see that, a genuine careness, that you care for them. And then everything else will follow. The business will follow, and you don't have to worry about that portion of it.
I love it. I love it. So interesting. All right. I'm gonna change gears just slightly, because we have so much good stuff to see. And I'm even gonna do this. We'll do that. So now we can look, you're featured in the screen. We're gonna go deep. We got a few minutes left.
Okay.
What is the biggest mistake that experienced agents are making right now?
Wow. I guess not listening. Finding that it's not finding a niche, it's not finding the power. If you have one client that becomes your A client, right? And you make that A client comes A plus, what does that client need in order to survive? You may not have it all. Just like when I call and check on everyone, I say to them, I may not have it, but I know somebody else who may have it. Perfect example. I call this lady just to check on her. I spoke with her a while back before COVID, and she says, Donna, I lost my job. And, and she was in Maryland. And it so happened that my sister lives in Maryland, and her office was looking for somebody. So I put them in contact. So sometimes if you just listen to what the other person is going through, you may not be able to do everything. And of course you can't, but you could be there as a resource for them. And that's what makes, I think, once you listen and find out what your client needs, they're going to remember, and they'll never forget you.
Yeah. I love that. I am glad I changed gears. See, I knew you'd have deep, insightful answers to this.
No,
all right,
no
so let's flip to the other side of it then. So on the other side, what advice do you give to brand new agents? Same thing, something different?
For a brand new agent, wow. You know what I always say? If you need a why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? What are you doing it for? And when you come to that term, when things are not going the way you thought it should go, and you're not motivated to make a call or to talk to someone or to go see the house, why are you doing it? Then that comes back to you, and you say, oh, this is why I need to do what I'm doing. And then that will motivate you to keep on going.
I love it. I love it. So what do you think? I mean, we're in, I don't know, October right now. What's the biggest opportunity for your business between now and the end of the year?
I'm working towards, if a buyer comes to me and say they want a 2-family, I'm going to find that for them. So now I'm creating a system that find out what they want and go for it. So building more of a listing hub for them and for whoever comes, so that they have that the resource, but not only that, but they have what they're looking for. If they can't find it, I'm going to look for it and get that for them. So that's what I'm creating right now, working strong on that.
I love it. We have less than a minute left.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Favorite book you've read in the last 6 months? Favorite podcast? You got one of those you want to leave people with?
Oh my God, I have too much. Oh my gosh. I don't want to shout anybody out too much.
All right, fine. How about
that's been really good.
which one?
The Compound Effect with Darryl Hardy. A really good book, that one. El Mallet, that one. Oh my gosh, I have so much podcasts, but mostly I'm looking more on investment side of things. Yep. So most of my investment, like Tom Ferriss. Let's see, trying to figure some more. Oh gosh.
You're good. Okay. That is our timer. Anyway, ready? Here you go.
Thank you.
There you go, Donna.
Thank you, guys.
You made it. You made it before the baby came, and you have a fan. Paula says, "Donna, you seem lovely." There you go.
Oh, thank you.
You got a fan. I love it. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right.
Let me
welcome the baby. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. This was 10-Minute Labs. Enjoy yourself. Brought to you by LCA Elements. Enjoy your night. Happy Friday.
Bye. Have a good